Hi everyone, this is your notes for today on surface area and volume of cones. A few things for you to note right away. The vertex is the point, so a cone is only going to have one vertex. The height is the line that goes from the vertex straight down through the center of the circle. The slant height is the distance over on the side, and the radius remains the same, being the distance from the center of the circle to the edge. The formula for finding surface area is going to be pi times radius times the slant height. So in this situation here, this portion of your equation is going to be for your lateral surface area. Your lateral surface would be the actual cone part. Pi r squared is area of a circle. So that is your base. So again, surface area, SA, is the abbreviation. R is the abbreviation for radius, and S is the abbreviation for slant height. So keep that in mind as we go through the rest of these. So let's start with our equation for surface area. Surface area is pi times the radius times the slant height plus pi r squared, which is the area of our circle base. So we're going to start with our circular base. That's going to be pi times 3 squared, which is pi times 9, or 9 pi. Then we can talk about the lateral surface area of our cone. That is pi times the radius, which is 3, times the slant height, which is 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Or 21 pi. So 21 pi and 9 pi is 30 pi inches squared. And then remember, we know that pi is 3.14. So we'll do 3.14 times 30. And that's 94.2 inches squared. In this next example, we'll start again with our surface area. Surface area is pi times radius times slant height plus pi r squared, which is the area. So in this situation, for this cone, we have a radius of 5 and a slant height of 15. Plus pi r squared, where we have a radius of 5. So 5 times 15 is 75. 5 squared, that's 5 times 5, so that's 25. So we end up with 100 pi centimeters squared. And 3.14 times 100 is 314 centimeters squared. And in this last example, we just want to show you that your cone doesn't have to be a perfect vertical cone, because remember, all we need for finding surface area of a cone is pi times radius times slant height. We have slant height and we have radius, plus we're going to multiply that by pi r squared, which is the surface area of our circular base. So pi times 4 times 14 gives us our lateral surface area of the cone itself, plus pi r squared, pi 4 squared gives us the surface area of the circular base. 14 times 4 is 56. So pi times 56 plus pi times 16. 56 plus 16 is 72. And 72 times 3.14 is 226.08 inches squared. So now it's your turn. Go ahead and try it. Find the surface area, which again is pi times the radius times the slant height plus pi r squared, which is the area of the base. Then when you're ready, push play for me to show you the answer and the steps. So we got pi times radius of 2 times the height of 6 plus pi times a radius of 2 squared. So that's pi times 12 plus 4 pi, which is 16 pi meters squared. 16 times 3.14 is 50.24 meters squared. Here's one more try it for you. The numbers are a little bit bigger, so it's going to be a little bit harder in that sense, but remember you still start with surface area equals pi times radius times slant height plus pi r squared. So for this one, we are pi times 19 times 40 plus pi times 19 squared. 19 times 40 is 760 pi. 19 squared is 19 times 19, so that's 361 pi. And 361 plus 760 is 1,121 pi centimeters squared. Pi is 3.14, so we multiply by 3.14 and get 3,519.94 centimeters squared. And that finishes up our section on surface area of cones. Now we're going to move into volume of cones, which should be a little easier. So just like our other shapes, to find volume, we simply take the area of the base times height. But as a cone, we're going to divide by 3. As I showed you in class in the demonstration, if you take a cone and fill it with water with the same radius and height as a cylinder, you can fit 3 cones worth of water into a cylinder. So we have the area of our circular base as pi r squared. So that's this. So there's the area of our base times the height. And then because it's a cone, we are going to multiply by 1/3 or divide by 3. So in this first example for you to write down, we have volume equals pi r squared. That's the area of our circular base, times height. And this time we're not doing slant height, we're doing the actual height. And then we will divide by 3. Why? Because it's a cone. So we go pi times the radius, which is 5 squared, times the height, which is 12, not the 13. And we'll divide this whole thing by 3. 5 squared is 25 times 12. 25 times 12 is 300. So we have 300 pi divided by 3. So our volume is 100 pi inches cubed, and 100 times 3.14 is 314 inches cubed. In our next example, we've not only flipped the cone, but we are also now giving you the diameter. The diameter is the distance all the way across the circle through the center point. So we need to identify here that the radius is actually going to be 7 centimeters. So we don't need that 14 at all anymore. And now we go back to our volume of pi r squared times the height divided by 3. Our radius is 7, and our height is 16. 7 squared is 49. So 49 pi times 16 divided by 3. 49 times 16 is 784 pi, and we divide that by 3. 784 divided by 3 is 261.3, repeating, pi centimeters cubed. And if we times that by 3.14, we get 820.58 centimeters cubed. Now you try it. Use your formula for volume of pi r squared times height, divide by 3, to find the volume of this cone, and then push play for the explanation and answer. So first thing I notice is we have extra information. We have a slant height, which we don't need. So let's do pi times radius squared, so pi times 3 squared, times a height of 4, all divide by 3. 3 squared is 9. So pi times 9 times 4, divide by 3. 9 times 4 is 36. 36 pi divided by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. So 12 pi inches cubed. And if we do 12 times 3.14, we end up with 37.68 inches cubed. And your final try it here is a cone with a height of 10 and a radius of 4. Please try this one on your own, and this will wrap up our lesson for today. So volume is pi r squared, that's the area of the circle, or the base, times the height, and we divide it by 3 because it's a cone. So pi times a radius of 4 squared times a height of 10 divided by 3 is the equation to solve. 4 squared is 16 times 10 divided by 3. So we have 160 pi divided by 3. And 160 divided by 3 is 53.3, repeating, pi inches cubed. Times that by 3.14, and we have 167.46 inches cubed.